Hello everyone, welcome back to Ben Robinson Guitars. We are continuing our series on the semi-hollow body guitar build, and today it's going to be all about the neck. And what I have in front of me here is the blank that I'm going to use to produce this first prototype neck. And it's a little scabbed together piece. The top here is a piece of maple. I can't use this for a production guitar, it's got a knot right there, but with the angled headstock I believe that's going to cut that right out of there. We're going to find out. And then I really need 8/4 material to produce this neck, and I just don't have any 8/4 material of this size in there, so I used a piece of 5/4 maple, and then I put probably about a 4/4 piece of walnut here on the back, glued them together, and that's going to get me the what I need, or the thickness that I need for this producing this neck. Again, as we did with the body, we're going to spend some time looking at the model for this, and so hold tight and we'll join up with the laptop.
Okay, we've made it back to the computer desk here, and we're just going to go through some of the design elements of this set neck for the semi-hollow body. And let's just go through this. We'll start here from a side view. First thing that I notice when I look at this thing is just this significant tenon that I have here. There is just a tremendous amount of surface area here to glue. And it says right there it's 5.3 square inches. From here to here is literally 3 1/4 inches, so very large glue surface. This neck is going to be very stable. In addition, we'll be able to get some glue here on these edges right here, both this side and the back side. So this neck is just going to have a very strong joint into the body. Um, Scale length, this is a 25-inch scale. Vast majority of my guitars are 25-inch scale. The Genesis model and Legend are 25 and a half, so they stick to Fender specs, but my designs are generally 25, but I can do whatever scale length. It's a number I can put into my designs, so I can do about anything. Let's look at this volute. I do put a volute on my neck here, particularly this tilted headstock. This is an 11-degree tilt. Again, I do that for a very specific reason. I can get 8/4 material readily, but if it's thicker than that, it's just harder for me to obtain, and costs go up. And so 8/4 is readily available to me, and so I stick with that 8/4. And I need 1.71 inches of thickness to produce the bottom part of the neck without the fretboard. And usually 8/4 comes in about 175 to 180, somewhere in there. So this is set and ready for 8/4 material. Let's take the fretboard off. You can see my truss rod, how I've got the truss rod. I do use dual action truss rods, and that's primarily the opposite action, or the second action. I do literally so that I can get this surface here dead flat when I address the frets. It gives me a great result. And wood bows. Sometimes it comes off the machine, preferably with a little back bow, but you got to resist that so you can get those frets leveled appropriately. Um, uh, why do I put a volute? And let's look at this. That pocket there is um, nearly a 1/2 inch deep. And when we look at that, I mean, there we go. That pocket is right here, and you can see how deep that is. But we can resist that with this volute. Having that extra meat there, for the inevitable fall, having that little extra material there is definitely a good thing. We don't want any snapped headstocks. Um, more detail here. Get a good look at the tenon. This is a flat. The tenon is flat. This right here is a 4-degree angle, but I left this bottom tenon flat. So when we come to the full design, and you can see, actually, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this Yeah, there we go. Let's take that top off. You can really get a good view here on how that tenon is sitting there. Tremendous amount of surface. Put him back on, and you can get an idea here. Yeah, so this whole area right here is going to be glued, as well as this area right here is going to be glued. So we just very, very strong joint. Put that back on. All right. So that's the neck, and we're going to get ready to go on the CNC machine and start making some cuts. Hang tight.
All right, everybody, we're at the CNC machine. I have the neck blank loaded in. This is actually a fairly complicated process that I'm going to need to do to machine this neck. So the first thing it's going to do is going to fly cut across here, and it's going to do the features for the truss rod. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to do pretty much the entire backside of the neck. Once that's done, I'm going to take this blank out, and I'm going to put the fretboard on, and then I'll load this blank back into the machine, and then actually cut the radius and frets and everything on the fretboard itself. So quite a bit going on here. I think I've got all the programming right. We're about to find out. So here we go. Okay, everybody, I did have an issue with my programming on the top side of the neck blank. What it was is I didn't have my alignment pins oriented properly. Just long story short, I've had different designs where my dowel pins were in different locations. I copied the wrong dowel pin location into this design. But not an end of the road, not good enough for production, but for a prototype, it's going to be okay. Where I'll see an issue is the truss rod might be just out of alignment just a tiny bit, and I'm talking 10, maybe 20 thousandths. Not good for production, certainly okay for prototype. So what we're going to do is I've got the flip the neck blank over. We're going to go ahead and machine the bottom side of this neck. A lot of profiling done here. It's going to take a little bit. I'll get it started, then shut the camera off, and then we'll review the piece when it's done. Hang tight. All right, so I've got the neck off of the machine. So here is the top side, and here is the bottom side. Generally, the machining process went fairly well. There's a few things that I need to do from a programming standpoint to make it a little better. I can see a couple of, there's a divot right here. We'll see how that turns out. I can probably remodel that and make it more rounded. But those are the kind of things that are sometimes really hard to see on the screen. But yeah, I mean, you see the really nice large tenon, the volute. Headstock might be a little big. Well, I don't know. Maybe not. Let's see what it looks like. So now, what I need to do is I'm going to install a truss rod. That'll fit inside this pocket here. I've just got a fingerboard that I can use. I'm going to set this fingerboard. Again, I've got these alignment grooves right here. So as long as I'm over those alignment grooves, I'll be able to glue that just like this. I'll glue it on here. We'll put it back on the machine, and then all it's going to do, it's going to carve the angle as it pitches this way, and then it'll do the top of the fretboard as well. So starting to look like something. Hang tight. Next time you see me, we'll be ready to machine this part. All right, everybody, we've got the fretboard glued on to our neck blank, and we're going to go ahead and carve this top side so it'll join in. I'll zoom you in. It's going to take a little bit, so when it's done, we'll get back together. Here we go. All right, everybody, next machine. Let's pop it out of here and take a look. I'm pretty happy. We got the nice top side, got a little cleaning up to do. And we've got the bottom side. Love the tenon. Alright, tell you what, I'm going to shut the camera off. I'm going to cut this out of there, sand it up a little bit, and we'll meet back at the table. Hey everybody, here's the neck. I'm off the CNC machine. I've done a little bit of sanding on it, and I mean, it looks pretty good. Sometimes I wonder, is the headstock maybe a little bit too big? I don't know. I think once I get it attached to the body, I think the large body, the larger headstock, I think that definitely goes together. The tenon turned out pretty good. I've done some work on getting this 4-degree angle here, and yeah, I think it's pretty good. Still some more work that needs to be done to it to actually, finish it out. Got to roll these edges and so forth, but from straight off the machine, I'm happy with this. Let's see how well it fits in the body here. Put my glasses on so I can see a little bit better. Huh. Some definitely need to do some more work on this joint. Not really happy with this transition here. May need to do a little extra work here. It's just a very difficult thing to get this surface here just really good, and I'm kind of coming in on a rounded edge. This edge here has been rounded when I came across the sander a little bit. This edge here's a little more square and it lines up a little better. Maybe, but you know, I may have to think about how to do the neck a little bit. Let me see if I can. But side to side is really good. It's got a good tight fit in there. You know, for first one through, I mean, this guitar would absolutely play just great if I glue this in. Measure real quick here. Yeah, I think that's going to work really good with the two-pneumatic bridge, which I need to install a bridge and get it going. Yeah, I'm happy with this. I'm just trying to hold it right here. I want to do a little bit of that. I think the weight distribution is going to be close. Obviously, there's going to be a lot more things in here that's going to add some weight. The neck hanging out here. Steps too long. Yeah, I'm used to being back here, but yeah, this is going to be something. Getting it real good. I do need to rethink about this neck a little bit. It's just not the joint that I'm looking for. It's good, it's close, but we can certainly do a little better job there. And a lot of it is just, you know, using chisels and so forth to get that edge. It's just some very fine detailed work to get that right. And you know, honestly, with as much fine detail work, there might be a better way of putting this neck in. What I might consider doing is, rather than having, let me pop this out of there. But yeah, this neck's in here. So you can see kind of this rough surface. That's what's causing the issues. That edge there needs to be very, very, very precise. And right now it's just kind of roughed in. Need to remove a little bit more material. So one of two ways: either we need to create a jig to get that really, really, really good. You know, I could probably create a router jig, have the neck sitting on here, and something that captures this side, and I can just use a hand router and cut that edge maybe. Possibly something, some way of doing it could catch both sides, and then really all I'm doing is just trying to remove material from that far corner down there. This side here over here is a little better. You know, another way of possibly doing this, I need to think about, maybe rather than having this this cut out right here, actually bring this surface all the way out to the edge of the fretboard. Leave the tenon the same. And then so now the tenon is actually going to be bigger. It's going to have all this additional area here to glue in. It's just the fretboard isn't just going to hang over those edges, so there will be an edge there. Maybe have this flush as well. I think I still need to keep that. That's going to be my stop, my depth stop. So I'll probably leave that surface. Just bring this over, so I'm not trying to get that, you know, that really precise angle. And then these edges here are going to be rounded over. I think that may be probably a more consistent way of doing it. As the builder, I think it'll be, because anything you get off the CNC machine is just it's always going to be the same. It's always going to be the same. Once you start doing a lot of these hand operations, there's chance for variation. So I personally, I try to keep as much on the machine as I can. It's just, it drives consistency. The machine doesn't have a bad Monday like I do. So need to rethink that. But and that is not to downplay what I have here. I'm going to glue this in. I mean, we're gonna glue this neck in, and going to get it set as good as I can. And this guitar will actually function just fine. Some of the more minor details. Yeah. So that was part 2, the neck. I think part 3, what I want to do is talk about controls, and see where that goes. And maybe I'll also throw in here how the neck actually joint. I'll clean this joint up some and do that. So hey, stick around for part 3. Success so far.